Hello students. Welcome to the science class, and in the previous section we had completed the chapter 3rd, that is fiber to fabric. Before we go further and start a new chapter, that is heat, let me remind you what are the things that we have studied. So basically in that chapter, student, we have finished with that of the fiber. We already knew about the fiber, we already knew about the fabric. So the thing that we have studied in the last chapter, it is about that how do we obtain fiber, animal fiber, and convert it into the fabric. It means what are the different steps which is involved in that in order to get the fiber, then yarn, and finally to that of the fabric. And in that, the animals actually through which we obtain that of the fiber, student, is the wool, woolen clothes we obtain from the animals which is having fur or which is having fleece on its skin. And the second thing is the silk that we obtain from that of the silkworm. So in the last class, student, we have seen that how do we obtain the silk from the silkworm, and what are the different steps which is involved in obtaining the silk to that of the silk fabric, in the formation of a silk fabric. As well as we have seen that how can we differentiate between a natural silk and that of an artificial silk. So we are able to distinguish between the two by burning it. When we burn a natural silk, you will find that it will give a smell of a burning hair, while that of the artificial silk will not going to provide, will give a smell of a burning paper. So this is how we are able to distinguish between the natural and the artificial fiber, silk fiber. See students, when we were talking about the silk, we have seen that there are a lot of a silk is obtained as present there, but the very common silk which is very soft, which is lustrous and used a lot, that is called as the mulberry silk, and the silk is obtained from the silkworm which used to grow and take their nutrition from that of the mulberry leaves. So these are the mulberry silk obtained from the silkworm on the mulberry leaves. So this is the things that we had studied in the last chapter. Now we will start with a new chapter, that is chapter 4, and that is heat. Now what is the heat? The first question is, what is the heat, student? So heat is a what? It is a form of energy. Heat is a form of energy. And what is the role of the heat? It is actually used in making an object hotter. So we can say that it makes an object hotter. It makes an object hotter. So basically heat is what? It is a form of energy which makes an object hotter. Okay, so basically its role is to make an object hotter, student. So we can say that it is a form of energy which makes an object hotter. Now the question is, are you able to see the heat, students? No, we are not able to see it. So we can say that since it is a form of energy, we cannot see it, but we can feel it. Obviously, any of the energy, student, we cannot see it, but we can feel it. So heat cannot be seen by us. Cannot be seen by us. We can feel the heat by temperature effect. By temperature effect. What is the meaning of this temperature effect, student? Do not get confused. I will tell you about it. That when we increase the temperature, the object become hot, and when we decreases the temperature, the object become cool. So we can say here that we can feel the heat due to the temperature effect. It means when the temperature is high, it is hot. When the temperature is low, it is cool. So when we increase the temperature of an object, it becomes hot, and when we decreases the temperature, it will become cool here. So basically, how can you increase the temperature? So suppose you have taken a utensil at a room temperature, it will be normal. But when you take the utensil and keep it on a gas burner, you will find that the temperature increases by providing the heat to it. Or we can say that actually when we burn it, then because of the fire, the temperature increases, and then it become hot. We can say into the just opposite way also, that by increasing the heat, by providing the heat to it, the temperature increases. Okay, when you left it, when you take out the utensil from the gas burner and keep it aside for a period of a time, you will find that it cools down and the temperature it lowers down. So by increasing the temperature, we will make an object hot, and by decreasing the temperature, we can make an object cool, students. Okay. Now let us, if we have started to understand the hot and a cool only, so let us see that how can you say that an object is a hot or an object is a cool. So let us find of that of the hot and cool, students. So, hot and cool. Hot and cold. Actually, it is not cool, it will be cold. Hot and cold. So, in our daily life, we came across a lot of our objects. When we touch it, then we find that it is hot or it is cold. Now you see, if we touch an ice cream, it is what? Temperature is very low, so it is a quite cold one. But if you are touching a warm tea or hot tea or a hot coffee, then what happens? You will feel that it is because of the high temperature, it is a hot object. So by touching it, we can say that an object is a hot or an object is a cool. Okay, if you have something frying in a pan, when you touch it, then what happens? It's quite hot. When you kept something inside to that of the refrigerator and take it outside from that, you will find it is cool. So how can you decide that whether the object is a hot or a cold by touching it? So it is our touch we use to decide that whether an object is a hot or cool. But is it the correct way to measure the temperature? Is it a correct way to tell the temperature of an object? No. Sometimes what happens, student, even our touch get confused. Okay, why is this so? You see, there is an experiment with which we can understand that how an activity is there with the help of which we can understand it, that how we can say that the temperature cannot be measured without touch. Let me write here a few things. An object is hot when it is kept on a gas burner or on high temperature, like hot tea, hot coffee. Hot tea is there, hot coffee, frying pan, hot water, etc. And an object is cold when it is kept on when its temperature is low. Like ice cream. Like ice cream is there. Fruit juice. Or water bottle kept in a refrigerator. So this is how we can say that an object is a hot or that a cool. But sometimes even our sense of a touch is not reliable. So we can say here that when we touch it, we will get the sense of the temperature, that whether it is a cold or hot, of the temperature of an object. But sometimes it is not. But sometimes even our sense of touch is not reliable. But sometimes even our sense of touch is not reliable, students. Our sense of touch is not reliable. And because of that, we need a proper measuring device in order to measure the temperature of an object. So, because of that, we need a proper measuring device in order to measure the temperature of an object. The temperature of an object. Temperature of an object. Hot or cold. So we need a reliable measuring device, student, in order to measure the temperature. So we can say here that even the sense of our touch is there, with the help of which we can measure the temperature. We can find that whether it is hot or cold. But in order to measure a perfect temperature of an object, we need a measuring device, a proper measuring device, which help in finding the correct temperature of an object. And the reason is that sometimes what happens, our sense of touch does not work properly. So why I am saying this many times, students? Actually, there is an activity with the help of which we can understand. This activity is also given in your lab manual, student, in the experiment first, where you will find that sense of touch, how it is not reliable. Okay, so what happened? For that we need the 3 beaker. Okay, 3 beaker or 3 container, you can say. So in the 3 container we will take, students, or we can say 3 bowl we will take. Now what we will do in that of the 3 bowl or the 3 beaker, at the first beaker or the first bowl we will add the hot water. In the second one we will add the cold water, very cold water. And the third one which consisting of the lukewarm water. Okay, so the first beaker is there, second beaker is there, students, and finally a third beaker is there. This is also consisting, we will write here A, B and C. This is consisting of a water. This is what? It is the hot water. This is also consisting of the water. The black water is a cold water. And this is consisting of the water, which is what? That is the lukewarm water. Hot water, cold water and lukewarm water. Now at first what happened, you will use your right hand in that of the hot water, and left hand, keep your left hand in that of the cold water. So we have taken the right hand, we kept this right hand in that of the hot water, and the second one, that is left hand, we will take and keep it in the cold water. Just keep it there for 5 minutes or 5 to 7 minutes inside it, and after that take out both of your hand. So what will happen this time? Your right hand will feel the hot because the temperature is hot there. You had dipped your hand in that of the hot water, and your left hand will feel the cold. It is because the temperature is low in that of the second one consisting of the cold water in it. Now you have taken both of your hand and keep both of your hand in the in bowl that is consisting of a lukewarm water. What do you observe, students? You will find that you do not you will find here that the right hand which was kept in that of the bowl A, when you keep it in that of the lukewarm, you will find that it start feeling cold. And this one, which was the left hand which you had kept in that of the cold water, when you kept it in that of the lukewarm water, you will find that it start feeling hot. And the reason is that here, since it was kept in the hot water, when you kept it here, the temperature as compared to that of the lukewarm water and that of the hot water is comparatively low. So that's why the person start feeling the cold in that of the right hand. And the temperature, because it is a cold water as compared to that lukewarm water, temperature is high. So here the left hand start feeling the hotness. So we can say here, when we get the both hand, right hand feels cold, while left hand feels hot. And the reason is, the students, here right hand as the temperature of hot water is high, or we can say the temperature of the lukewarm water. Temperature of lukewarm water is low as compared to hot water. So the temperature is comparatively low as compared to hot water. So when we kept the right hand into that of the lukewarm water, the person will feel cold. What happened in case of the cold water? So I am writing it here, students. I hope you have understood here. Let me write the same thing here. Okay, so I am writing it here, students. So we can write it, that is, with that of the left hand as the temperature of lukewarm water is high than cold water. So you do not have to write it in this way. You simply have to understand this. That's basically when we keep that hand, both of our hand together, so we are actually identifying the wrong temperature, because here it is the hot water, so that's why we are feeling here cold, and it is the cold water, that's why we are feeling here hot. Okay, so actually this is not the temperature of the lukewarm water. So the temperature should be felt, means exactly when you kept this in your hand without keeping it the two, when you keep your hand in the lukewarm water, you will find that the temperature is nominal. Okay, you do not find any kind of a change will happen in that of the right and the left hand. But when you had kept it into the hot and the cold water, and after keeping it in the lukewarm water, we will find that there is a variation in the temperature we felt. So this is what? This is the wrong sense of understanding of the temperature. Actually, we are not getting the exact temperature, but we get confused with that of the temperature. Our skin get misunderstood regarding that of the temperature. So on the basis of this activity, we came to the conclusion, students, that our sense of touch is not a reliable way of measuring the temperature of an object. Because if it will be the reliable, it will going to give the correct temperature of this lukewarm also. It means the moderate temperature. But you have seen it does not happen like that. And because of that, student, we need a proper measuring device in order to measure the temperature of a person. Okay, so this is the activity which helps us to tell that why there is a need of a measuring a temperature from a temperature device. Now let us see what does we understand by the temperature. We are continuously talking about the temperature. So let us try to understand what do we understand by temperature. Temperature. What is temperature, students? So temperature. So students, continuously I am saying here that when we kept an object on that of the gas burner, its temperature increases. Okay, or when we say that when we kept an object in a fridge, its temperature decreases. So what does that mean? It means the temperature become the object become hot. When you kept an object on a gas burner, it becomes hot, and we are saying that the temperature rises. And when we are keeping that the same object in that of the fridge, we said it becomes cool. It means its temperature decreases. So on the basis of that, we can decide that the hotness and the coldness of the object decide the temperature of an object. So we can write it here that a hot object has a high temperature. A hot object has a high temperature, whereas a cold object has a low temperature. Has a low temperature. So we can say that the temperature of an object is the degree of hotness and coldness. Degree of hotness and coldness. Actually, we can write it here, or coldness of an object. How much an object is hot, that will decide the temperature. It means the temperature will be more of that of the object. Okay. For example, we can understand it with the help of a boiling water. So the temperature of a boiling water is 100 degree Celsius. So the temperature of a boiling water is 100 degree Celsius. I'll talk about that of the degree Celsius student, but let us try to understand here. That is 100 degrees Celsius, which is represented by like this. I'll tell you that what does that mean. And so, which is what? Which is quite high temperature. Which is a quite high temperature. Which is quite high temperature. Why? Melting of the ice occurs at 0 degrees Celsius. The temperature of melting of an ice is 0 degrees Celsius. Represented by 0 degree, which is quite low temperature. Which is quite low temperature. Okay, so because of that, touching boiling water is hot, and when we touch ice, quite cold. Okay, so when we touch the boiling water, it is quite hot, and when we touch that of the ice, then it is quite cold. To measure the temperature, we need a device, and that particular device is called thermometer. So temperature is measured by a device called as thermometer, students. Temperature is measured by a device called thermometer. Okay, so the device which help in measuring the temperature is thermometer.